Okay. Yeah. This the Brad and Memory Show. 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 In the field with my dogs, like the Sixers, we gon' ball. Wake up early in the morning, tune in anytime at all. Hard time, all season, don't believe in off seasons. Watch the Phillies, watch the Flyers, and the Eagles on the weekends, yeah. This is not your ordinary radio show. Ain't just talking sports, we be talking about the culture. All across the globe, anything you wanna cover. This is for the fans, no room for our front runners. This the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah, this the Brad and Memory Show. Yeah. You know the vibes.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Brad Memory Show. Marques, Brad, Justin, Emery.
Yo, Marcus, I got 2 water bottles today and my notebook. I'm ready to go.
So first off, real quick to everyone out there, I mean, it's real simple. Any questions? Any questions on Sunday?
Well, actually, did you see the thing on ESPN?
What thing on? There's a lot of things on ESPN.
No. The thing about the Cowboys.
Yes,
I did. Okay.
Yes. Any questions? Anyone out there? Anyone in the back have anything?
What am I supposed to say?
What else is really?
I don't know what to do.
What is there else really to say? Because, listen, we both had this as a loss. Doc Rivers would call it a scheduled loss.
I hate him.
Yeah, we'll unpack that in February.
That's a different story for a different day.
Yeah, I mean, and all signs were pointing to the fact that this would be a tough game for the Eagles. It should have been a tough game for the Eagles, but the Eagles are superior in all phases of the game, and they took a team that I no longer want to hear anything about the schedule or who they're playing. Or this was a good team. They are leading the AFC South. They're going to be in the playoffs. This was a good football team that the Eagles made look like they weren't even playing the same sport. It was a dominant effort. And, even, we nitpick about the defense and we don't like the fact that Jonathan Gannon's not aggressive and all that stuff. But really what the Eagles do is real simple. Our offense is our defense. That's their motto. Because what they do is they put so much pressure on you to score at their pace, it gets you out of your game plan. And it makes you become and want to do things that you're just not capable of doing. We know what Tennessee Titans want to do. They want to muck it up. They want to get you in a street fight. They want to pound the ball with Derrick Henry. They want to play action pass and all of that stuff. Now, granted, Derrick Henry is in some obvious slump right now. We get that. However, it doesn't help when you have the opposing team putting up a 21 spot on you in the first half, and it just puts you back on your heels. There's nothing really you can do about it. And the thing that's even more remarkable about this is that you have an offense that have showed you in 2 weeks how significant they can be on completely opposite sides of the spectrum. You have an offense against the Packers that put up 350 plus rushing, and then they turn around the following week and do a complete 180 and go 350 passing on you. That is insane. That's an insane thing to be able to do to someone. And there is not too many teams in the history of the sport that has been able to replicate that and be able to do what the Eagles have just done in consecutive weeks. They are balanced. There's not a word invented yet to describe the balance on this football team and how even they are. And that's what makes it difficult. And that it's real simple. Sometimes things are just right in front of you. The big thing here is that, yes, they were a prolific running attack last year. They had that last year, but the passing attack was not there. They couldn't turn around and beat you in the air. And isn't it ironic that really the guy, like, obviously, I don't want to take away from the work that Jalen Hurts did in the offseason. Obviously, there's all that. But isn't it ironic that the guy that really put this over the top faces his own old team on Sunday? Because A.J. Brown has really just changed everything. He's changed everything. Jalen Hurts is the quarterback of the team. he's going to get all the praise. He's going to get all the blame. That's just how it goes. But what A.J. Brown has done here, and A.J. Brown having him, a guy that can win easily in one-on-one matchups, a guy you have to try to double, you want to double team every time there's a passing play because you know what he's capable of, but it doesn't matter. You know, that I think it was the second touchdown throw. Hurts just throws the ball up there and says, yeah, he's going to catch it. I mean, it hits my man in the shoulder pad. A.J. Brown just snatches off his shoulder pad, so I'm going to take that from you, thanks. And that's the confidence that... Say it again?
He was like, I need...
Yeah. That's the confidence that Jalen Hurts has in him, knowing that my guy is going to beat your guy. It doesn't matter. It's just that simple. My guy will beat your guy. And that's really what they're doing. And then, oh, by the way, you got Devontae Smith on the other side of all of this, just eating also. I mean, like if you look at the numbers of Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, they're eerily similar. Brown has more touchdowns and more
yards.
More yards. But other than that,
yeah, Devontae's got more catches though.
Right, yeah. But it's extremely comparable. I can't find it. I had it right here.
I got it. I'll pull it up for you.
I can't find it, which is making me sad. But anyway, it's just a game. What happened on Sunday, don't take that for granted. To be able to beat a playoff team and take your starters out.
Yeah, I have it right here.
Go in the fourth quarter. What you got? What do we got?
So we have actually have the same amount of receptions. They're both at 61.
Yeah.
AJ has 950 yards. Devontae has 711. 9 touchdowns for Brown, 4 for Smith.
Yeah, it's the receptions are really important because that's a huge incentive for receivers. So it's nice. Those are even.
For everything that we said throughout the year, they're less than 10 targets, a difference between the two of them.
Yeah. Yeah, and you got to think about it too. Remember, the first couple games was extremely lopsided on the A.J. Brown side.
Yep.
It took Devontae Smith a couple games to get going, and they've definitely figured it out. And then you got Quez just doing, hey, I'm here if you guys need me. It's just a wealth of blessings. And you're missing Dallas Goedert right now, who is a huge part of this and will be a huge part of this going forward in the playoffs. You brought up the ESPN thing.
So you want to know something wild? Let me give you a wild thing about Dallas Goedert right now. I know you're not a fantasy football guy.
No.
But let me give you this. So I own Dallas Goedert in both of my leagues.
Mm-hmm.
He has not played in 3 weeks?
Yeah.
He is still a top 5 ranked tight end.
Yeah.
Still. Racking up zeros. Still a top 5.
Yeah, and the cool thing is everyone's happy because everyone's eating. And like, listen, success is masked at anything. You're an 11-1 football team. There's not really much to complain about. The ESPN thing, you brought that up. They had the Cowboys with the best odds to go to the Super Bowl by some wacky woo.
No, I'll tell you why. You ready? Because whoever runs the analytics department at ESPN is a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, and not just you have just
they know. Oh, if we put out this graphic, we'll rile up the Philadelphia fan base, and we'll get a bunch of clicks.
Yeah,
because ESPN, the former worldwide leader, let's just be honest, Marcus, they are no longer the front runner for when you think sports. You no longer automatically think ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
So they did this because it'll rile people up. Like, there's no way that you actually believe that. Looking at this, like, I understand they put up a 50 spot on the Colts. That game was 21-19 going into the fourth quarter.
Right.
And then I passed out during the fourth quarter. I woke up and saw the score, and I was like, oh, that was a whooping. No, it wasn't. Matt Ryan showed you he has nothing left.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right. It was a close game going to the fourth quarter, and things just kind of fell apart really, really quickly, and that meme escalated quickly, sort of on the Colts. But listen, the Cowboys are a good football team. I'm not gonna sit here and say they're not, but I don't know what you're watching, especially the Chiefs go down to the Bengals on Sunday also. So I don't know what you're watching, how you don't say the Eagles are the undisputed best team in the NFL. It's just a fact. It's not an opinion. It's a fact. It's a fact proven week in week with what we're watching on the field. We're watching on the field. This team in 10 of the 12 games, 10 of 12, have absolutely dominated their opponents. Maybe
Colts
9
and Commanders.
Colts Commanders. I'm trying to think of another game that was even competitive. I guess Detroit in the first half, maybe. You want to say that? It wasn't competitive really in the second half.
Yeah,
So
but the Colts were there the whole game. That's why that's
right.
different.
Let's say we'll do this. We'll make it real simple. I'll give you 8 games of 12. They've absolutely obliterated their opponents. We'll give you 4. I can't think of 2 more other than Detroit. The tight one going in the second.
No, I mean the Cardinals. They only beat the Cardinals by 3.
Yes, there you go. There's your 4. Cardinals, Colts, Detroit, and who am I? Cardinals, Colts, Detroit,
Commanders,
and Commanders. Yeah, so I'll give you 4 games. Other than that, they've absolutely dominated and blown the doors off their opponents. It's just that simple. And it's just nice. It's just nice to be in the position because this is a huge win. I didn't think they were going to win this game, but they did. So this is a huge win because now you're at 11. You're 2 games up on the Cowboys. You're 2 games up on Minnesota, basically. And you got a little thing. You got a little play with. Now here's the nice thing: if they can go out and because they're going to beat the Saints in 2 weeks. The Giants division game. I think they should win this game this week. But if you can go out there and beat both these teams, I think that wraps. I think it's gonna be a wrap. It's gonna be a wrap. I think you're gonna be sitting pretty with that number 1 seed. I think you need 2 more wins in the next 2 weeks.
You don't think that Christmas Eve game is going to matter?
I don't think it's gonna matter.
So here's why. So actually, I have to disagree with you. That is the last game that will matter.
All right, so let's do this.
Because no, I broke this down.
Yeah, give me the schedules and
I actually looked at this the other day. I could pull it up. I already know off the top of my head.
Okay.
So they have the Giants, Bears, Eagles do the next 2 games. Assume they win both. You're going into that game at 13-1. The Cowboys' next 2 games are against Houston and Jacksonville.
Okay.
They'll probably win both.
There.
I know Houston is.
Yeah, they're like a 16.5-point favorite, but I think Houston's at home. So if Houston's at home, I'm going to bet Jacksonville's on the road.
Yes.
That could be an L.
No. Depends if Trevor Lawrence is playing, I guess.
He went back in that game. I think he's okay.
Well, let's see how he does with Micah Parsons coming after him.
Yeah, that might be a oopsie.
Let's make the assumption they beat both of those teams.
Okay.
You have what are they 9-3 now?
Yeah.
11-3 versus 13-1 is what it would be.
Yep.
If the Cowboys win that game,
mm-hmm.
that would bring the Cowboys to 12-3, drop the Eagles to 13-2. That then shifts the tiebreaker to the Cowboys. The Cowboys winning that game shifts the tiebreaker to them. If the Eagles lose one more of those 2 games to the Saints or the Giants, and the Cowboys win out, the Cowboys would leap them. So if the Eagles lose 2 more games, one of them being the Cowboys game,
mm-hmm.
If they beat the Cowboys, none of this matters. They beat the Cowboys, throw everything I'm saying out the window. If the Cowboys win out and the Eagles lose to the Cowboys and one other team, they will fall to the 5th seed.
Okay.
So the scenario exists.
I receive that. The scenario's there, no question. But I will come back with you and say I think they win the next 3. I think they beat the Giants. I think they beat the Bears. I think they beat the Saints. I think this was the pothole.
So right? It's 16-1. Is that what we're looking at? Is that what you think?
No, because I think the Dallas game won't matter. So Dallas may need that for positioning for them.
They're gonna really lock up the 1 seed.
I do. After because here's you look at these 3 opponents, right? Giants.
But you can't sit them. Like let's game out your scenario, okay?
Mhm.
They clinch it on December 17th versus the Bears that week.
Yeah.
Okay. You have the 24th,
Right.
the 1st, the 8th, the 15th. You have 5 weeks until.
So here's what I do.
Yeah, like that. What like you can't sit them.
Right. So I sit them Christmas Eve.
No.
I play them, yeah. No. I sit them
No.
Christmas Eve, and then I come back and play them the first half against the Giants, because that way it gets back.
No. You got it. If there's one game you got to ensure you win, you got to beat the Saints. First round pick next year. You want to beat the Saints.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah.
But
right.
You said you'll bring them back for the Giants. Giants are the last game of the season.
Right. But the Cowboys game, how about Cowboys game?
Yeah, but I'm saying if you're going to bring them back and play the first half of the game, don't bring them back for the first half of the Giants game. Bring them back for the first half of the Saints game to ensure that you win that game.
They play the Saints 17th, correct?
Yeah, but they play the Giants 18th.
Yeah. So Christmas Eve game talking about their setting.
Yeah, that's the Cowboys game. But then you just said you wouldn't bring them back till the Giants. There's the Saints games in between there.
Oh, you know what? The extra game. Okay. So yeah, I play them. Yeah, I play them the first half of the Saints. And
yes. Okay. Now I'm with you. Yeah, because the Giants are the last.
I sit them against the Cowboys for a couple of reasons. Number one,
you don't want to show them anything.
Number two is Christmas Eve, and number three, I want to show because you could be a playoff opponent. So why give some more tape? That's how I look at it. And I think it's a psychological also. Like, you don't want to give any kind of edge. Not I won't say edge, but you want to give anything where a little bit of confidence to them. Okay, we could play with these guys. No, you sit here and look at us in our street clothes because it doesn't matter to us. Psychological warfare. Now, granted, do I think the Cowboys will be there by the NFC Championship game? No, because the Cowboys have yet to win a big game.
You won't be able to draw them then. Unless, assume they get the 5th seed. Cowboys get the 5th seed.
Mm-hmm.
Assume they win their.
They'll get Tampa Bay and Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Assume they beat Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Go off that assumption.
Yeah.
You play them in the division round in Philadelphia.
Right. Which I'm okay.
So unless a lower seed, the 6 or the 7, beat the Vikings or I guess it'd be Seattle. No.
Which could happen.
Then you wouldn't potentially draw them until the NFC title.
Listen, look, this is going to be a weird playoff.
Is the whole division going to make the playoffs?
May.
The tie screws everything up.
It may, but
it's going to be against each other.
It's going to be a weird playoff because Commanders are a team that's a little dangerous in a first round matchup against like the Vikings, a team like that. That's a dangerous matchup. But no, I think the Eagles run 3 in a row, and I think they run 3 in a row, and I think they lock this up before they get to Dallas, because I look at these opponents coming up, the Giants, Chicago, and they're not going to be able to score enough points. Like, that's what it comes down to. Is they're like, forget defense, forget it, who cares? They're not going to be able to score enough points because the Eagles have proven, on a sample size of about 4 months, they can score at will.
I mean, what are they averaging? I got to look it up.
They score at will. They score at will. And you can't stop this offense. You just can't. There's nothing this year. Now, granted, next year, we'll have to worry about next year. They're going to have different wrinkles in. Defensive Avengers will get together and put together some things they could probably put in, maybe slow down the offense.
Yeah.
But for this year right now, and the time we are right now, there's nothing anyone can do to stop this offense. That has been proven.
The Eagles are averaging 28.2 points a game. Behind only the Chiefs.
Yeah. And oh, by the way, they turn you over. And then they'll turn the ball over. Which makes it even more complicated.
So I was looking in the into the quarterback stats yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Going into Monday Night Football yesterday, Brady had the least amount of interceptions thrown by all regular starting quarterbacks. Obviously, there's some guys that had less, but we're talking regular starters. You know who was number 2?
Mr. Hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You now know who's tied for number 1 after throwing a pick yesterday.
Do a pick it. Oh, yeah.
Threw a pick yesterday.
Yep.
Now they're tied.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't turn the ball over, and they get a lot of turnovers. These are recipes for winning a lot of games.
I believe Nick Foles was 27-7, correct? His splits that year.
27-1.
No.
I'm sorry, he started 27-1.
Or is it, no, I'm sorry. No, that splits, that touchdown interception split he had that season.
Yeah. He
Or was
started
it 27-3?
He started 27-1, but I think 27-7. I might be right.
Actually, I feel like maybe it was 27-3. Either way,
yeah.
Hurts right now is at 20-3.
Yeah, and that's not counting his rushing touchdowns.
29-3.
Right. So that you gotta factor that in with a guy like him, because those aren't throws, but they're still touchdowns. So 29-3 really, if there is a real stat, but 20-3 is a great ratio also. Like, he's gonna finish with probably 30-5.
Oh wow.
McNabb's best year was 31-8.
Nick Foles was 27-2.
Okay.
But it was only through 13 games.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's even less. It's damn impressive.
It's very impressive. But Hurts gonna finish probably about 30 throwing and about 5 interceptions, which is gonna be wild. Because how many I wonder how many rushing touchdowns did McNabb have in 2004? Because McNabb threw that year, he was 31 touches, 31 tutties, 8 picks, which obviously was his best year.
31, 8, and 15. And what did you want to know?
How many rushing touchdowns did he have that year?
How many rushing touchdowns? He had 3.
Okay, so Jalen already has 9. Jalen will probably get 4 more?
At least.
He'll probably have that's a low number. He'll probably have 13 rushing touchdowns to go along with 30 pass touchdowns. You're talking 43 total touchdowns to like 5 interceptions. MVP. It's time to say.
I mean, after the Chiefs lost,
yeah,
he has to be the front runner now.
It's time to say it. It's time to talk about it. MVP. MVP out of a second round pick would be a second round pick that was drafted to be an insurance policy and has now become your franchise quarterback is an insane turn of events. It really is. Like, what an embarrassment of riches that we kind of like fell backwards into Jalen Hurts being our franchise quarterback, and in a second round pick, a guy that was just only. I mean, at this point, it's like, thank you, Jadeveon Clowney, thank you, because I don't think he drafts Jalen Hurts if that play does not happen.
How much are you willing to guarantee his contract this offseason? So I'll give you some.
Let's finish the season.
I'll give you some. I'll give you some levels. Okay. Kyler Murray was 160.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think that's a bad contract.
Yeah.
But just because it's a bad contract, agents don't care that it's a bad contract. It's still the next guy up. Now, if you're the Eagles, you get this done before Burrow's deal gets done, before Herbert's deal gets done, before Lamar's deal gets done.
Yeah, I mean, what's that deal looking like now? Over there?
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I don't want to unpack that right now. It's a lot going on over there right now.
Like, I mean, I think at least 185 you have to guarantee.
This is Hurts?
Yes.
How many years?
He's 24. At least 6.
Yeah. I think go to his 30 and then see where we're at.
Yes. So I think at least 6. Or even if you want to do 5 and an option.
Yeah, team option. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's it's so unfortunate in football where we're still at a point that this could all fall apart in the next like 2 months. But if he stays on this trajectory and keeps playing at this level, you're absolutely 1,000% right. You cannot let Burrow, Herbert, more than Lamar, the Burrow Herbert deals, getting done. Because listen, I'm gonna say it. I said it before. I'll say it again. Sean Payton's going to Los Angeles. That's happening.
I mean, why would you not?
And that's
Can
gonna happen.
I tell you my dark horse conspiracy theory about that?
No,
you don't want to know.
I'm saying you didn't tell me.
No, I said, can I?
Oh yeah.
McVay flips to the other LA team. Stafford retires, and McVay flips to the other LA team, so he doesn't have to move.
I mean, that's cute. That's a nice theory. However, if you're the powers to be over the other LA team, I'm going Peyton over McVay.
Think so?
1,000%.
Wow.
Yes, I'm going Peyton over McVay. McVay, listen, McVay, he got it done. He did. However, Peyton has a long track record of being an insanely great play caller and insanely good with quarterbacks. Sean McVay has not developed the quarterback. He gave up on Jared Goff.
I mean, in fairness, it was the right decision.
Well, is it? Because Jared Goff's playing really well in Detroit. Bro, the Jared Goff is playing quietly. See, he's in Detroit, so he's in like a third world country basically at this point. And no one watches them and knows what's going on over there. It's third world country football. It's bad Lions.
Oh, that ain't right.
But it's the truth.
I didn't say you were lying. I said that ain't right.
but if you think like Jared Goff is playing good football.
Oh man,
for kneecaps. Like Detroit this week is favored at home against the 10-2 Minnesota Vikings.
I don't know if I believe that.
Look it up.
I am
favorite. So this is I don't know about that.
I mean, it's only 2.5, but it's still.
But it's still Detroit's favorite.
It is.
I mean, they're not getting the half. You get the 3 for being the home team.
Yeah.
But they went a half point. Well, the biggest reason, and I'm telling you the biggest reason why. You want to know why? Because Minnesota's defense is trash.
Yes.
And Detroit scores on anybody. They score points. They put up points. And a lot of that has to do with Jared Goff. And what's his name? They just traded what's the tight end to Minnesota? I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
What?
I know who you're talking about.
Long
hair.
Say it again.
TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, they just traded Hawkinson to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Who's like one of their best offensive players. And Jared Goff, the 2 wide receivers are there. I can't think of their names right now. He's made them guys you're paying attention to.
Listen, if you're looking to bet the Eagles, they're at 6.5 right now. You need to jump all over that before it goes to 7.
Yeah, you don't want it at 7.
No, it's at 6.5 now. Like if you're going to jump on it now, you're going to pay a premium. It's minus 120 right now. What I'm looking at, but
I tell you what, if I'm a betting man, I don't know if I'm betting again in my life after what happened to me on Sunday.
But I didn't want to mention it, and that's listen for what happened to you. That's why I'm not wearing sunglasses today. I mean, I'm every week I'm cashing the Eagles futures now. You know that. I've told you that. Yeah. But out of respect for you, I did not wear sunglasses.
I appreciate that because listen, if
I make no promises,
if I cash that on Sunday, I'd have worn Hawaiian shirts for a month.
Could I wear one too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been Hawaiian shirts for a month. And I would have treated us to a nice little mini vacation. We would have done the pod on some nice island for at least.
No, you know what we would have done? We would have went to the wiffle ball field.
Yeah, we went there. Yeah, no, 1,000%.
I mean, I'm still mad about that I didn't know about this prior.
So to clue you guys in real quick, I had a $5 parlay, NFL parlay, 15-teamer. I hit on everything for this. By the way, it's for $74K. The Giants game gets voided out
because of the
tie.
Yep.
We went down to $34K. Still not a bad day at the office for $5. And Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa just decide they don't want to play football anymore, and just lose to Corbin Burnson. Purdy, Corbin Purdy, and
Wow.
the San Francisco 49ers.
I found it took me 3 quarters to learn that his name was Brock.
Yeah, Brock. Why do I call him Corbin? Brock.
I was calling him Blake.
Yeah, Brock. Yeah, absolutely in an insane.
Now this has to change the way you look at the Niners now, right? As far as the threat.
Oh yeah, I mean,
that defense is
here's the
still
question.
real, but
So we'll get back to the Eagles in a second to wrap them up, but I did want to ask this question while we're talking about this real quick. So Baker Mayfield asked for his release yesterday. If you're the Niners, would you?
No.
I say no too, but why do you say no?
Well, I'll give you the point blank reason and then I'll expound upon it.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield sucks at playing football. That's the short answer. Okay. The long answer is that what do you need him for in San Francisco? He's not necessarily a mobile quarterback and he's tiny. What you want in San Francisco is a guy who is athletic and can help you move the ball in the run game. That's why they got Trey Lance. 6'4", big arm, can throw if they need it, but mobile. That's a running team. Yeah, they have Deebo Samuel. They have George Kittle. They have another good receiver. I can't remember. Ayuk. But they also have Elijah Mitchell. I understand he's hurt right now. He'll be back. And they just traded for McCaffrey. That's a team, and they have maulers on the offensive line. That's a team that they hide. They throw the ball just to hide the fact they're really a running team. Baker Mayfield doesn't do that very well. Look at him in Cleveland. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. Two-headed monsters there to run the ball. Baker Mayfield was not effective. He even had 2 good receivers there. Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, and Juke, I think his name is, the tight end that they had there. Ineffective. Baker Mayfield is not a good quarterback, and in a complex running system like the Shanahan runs, he runs the same system his dad ran in Denver. Same exact system. Baker Mayfield is not John Elway. He cannot run that system. Here's
why I agree with
square. It's round peg, square hole. That's exactly what it is.
I agree with everything you said. I'm going to expound that a little bit on why I think they shouldn't do it. First of all, they're going to be tempted to do it. It's a temptation because Baker Mayfield has started in the NFL. He had a little bit of success, not a lot, but a little bit of success. So they're going to be tempted to do it. I understand temptation, but here's why they need to resist temptation. Because Baker Mayfield is the anti-49er. What the 49ers need is they need a guy who's going to go out there and not make the big mistakes. Don't put the defense in a compromising position. Don't make that big mistake. Baker Mayfield is a mistake. He's a human mistake.
Yep.
All he does, I go back to that, like the game I think about with him, that really I think the game got him bounced from Cleveland, was that Packers game last November, where the Packers were trying to do everything they could to give the Browns that game. And Baker Mayfield made some of the worst throws I've ever seen in the history of humanity.
Yep.
Just horrible, horrible throws. And the 49ers style, the way they play, they can't afford mistakes like that.
No.
They can't afford it. So I think you go with the kid and just hope he can be that guy to not make those big mistakes. That's what he did on Sunday. Sunday, you were waiting for him. He did throw an interception, but it didn't hurt them. But you're waiting for them to make those huge mistakes, and he didn't do it. And that defense is so good, and that run game is so good. It's like a really good defensive team in basketball. They're going to be in every game because of those aspects. So you don't need a dynamic quarterback. You just need a guy who's not an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, am I still bitter that like 3 years ago Baker Mayfield cost me $8,000? Yes. But that doesn't change the fact he's not good at football.
Listen, I'll be bitter that Mike McDaniel cost me $34,000 until I'm 70.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna.
But he's just not like he should not have been the number 1 overall pick.
No.
He should not have people need to look past the fact he was drafted number 1 overall because that was a mistake.
Yeah.
He is at best, Marcus, Gardner Minshew type. Now I think he's better than Gardner Minshew, but they're to me they're essentially the same player.
Listen, man, shout out to his agent because they were able to get a lot of money out of people for a couple years. He had all those commercials, the progressive commercials that ran. He was on State Farm for a little bit.
Like I
Like,
think that
I think
this
he
is
did
the
a couple
end.
Subway ads.
This is the end. I think that we see at Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, the Baker Mayfield of that could be a superstar. That's over.
Now,
Now he could be in the league if he can
Yeah.
accept being a backup. If he can accept being Chad Henne.
yeah, he'll be in the league for
or-
another 4, 5, 6 years.
Or who's a guy backing up Mahomes out in Kansas City? It's been around forever.
Chase McDaniel or Chase Daniels?
Chase Daniels. Yeah, there you go.
No, isn't he? He's backing up Herbert.
Oh, okay, right. But he keeps bouncing around.
Oh, he's been in the league for 15 years. That's just because he's a good teammate and he knows the playbook.
Exactly. But he's an emergency lever. Pull the glass in case of
Well,
emergency.
it's the same thing about the guy who's the 4th string quarterback down in Tampa Bay. He's the guy that carried Brady drunk off the yacht. That guy that had his arm around him. That's actually their 4th string quarterback.
Yeah,
they did a whole.
You don't need a 4th string quarterback.
Well, they did a whole write up on this guy on ESPN. I read it about him. Mm-hmm. He's 35 years old. He's been on the Bucs since he got drafted. I think he's only taken 6 snaps in a game. But he knows the playbook inside, outside. He knows everybody's position, and he's an elite athlete that's willing to play all positions on the scout team. And on top of that, he kind of takes whenever the starting quarterback, whether it's Jameis Winston or whoever it was, he always was basically, all right, whatever this dude needs on or off the field, I'm doing it. Yeah. And every quarterback, every time his contract expires, every quarterback has always gone to the front office and vouched for him. He's been there for 15 years. He's played like 6 snaps.
Listen, if that's my life for $300K a year, I'm in.
Oh, I think they said he made $18 million on 6 snaps.
In. In.
Let me see if I can pull up.
I would always prefer that than being like a Tom Brady.
Let me pull up his.
I'd be okay with that life.
Let's see. It's his 4th string quarterback. All right, so it is. So Brady's obviously one. Then they got Blaine Gabbert, Kyle Trask. It's whoever's the
Blaine Gabbert's another guy who's been around forever.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Must be a good teammate.
I mean, it also helps that at least for Blaine Gabbert, he has the ability to throw the ball the whole field. I've seen that dude throw the ball 70 yards, not accurately. He didn't get caught, but he did rip the ball 70 yards in the air.
Yeah.
All right, it's taking me a minute to find this guy's name. I'll dig it up though.
But yeah. I mean, it's what were we even talking about? How do we even get here? I don't know where we are anymore.
We were talking about Baker Mayfield being able to.
Baker Mayfield. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So if I'm the Niners, I don't do that. But circling back to the Eagles to wrap that up, they're really good at football. They're the best team in the league. It's undisputed as of right now. And it's really exciting that this model is sustainable for the next 5 years. The people you see, the people you have, they're all young. There's no one really significantly old. They can do this for another 5 years. They can be in a position to go deep, make a deep playoff run for the next 5 years, and that's awesome. And that's very, very exciting.
I'm still digging this guy's name up.
Well, while you do that,
yes.
I think
should we let's close out the Eagles?
Yeah.
What do you think about what you got for this game coming up?
I think it's a win. Like I said, with the Giants aren't going to be able to score enough points. They're just not. And they're going to try to do what people try to do for the Eagles. Past couple weeks to try to slow the game down, limit possessions. It doesn't matter because the Eagles are going to score on them. So I think the Eagles are going to win the game. I'm looking at a 28-17 type of deal, 28-13, something like that. Because the Giants really they struggle to score points. They do. They struggle with core points. What the main difference of the Giants this year than the years previous is that Brian Dable has gotten into Daniel Jones' head that please take care of the football. Be responsible with the football. And then he's doing that. Like he's not turning the ball over a lot like he was in years past. He's making pretty good decisions. He's an athletic guy that they're using those skills to get some plays.
Ryan Griffin is his name.
Okay.
Bet you never even heard of him.
No idea who he is.
14-year vet.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what my biggest concern is about the whenever they play the Giants? I am so scared of their field.
Lot of big MetLife talk the past couple weeks. Jason Kelsey was just talking about on the Kelsey podcast about how that's the worst field.
Like my biggest, like I obviously I want them to win the game.
Yeah, right.
But like, if you told me they lose the game but there's no injuries, I would almost.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Sign up for that because that field, like, I mean, it feels like
Shepard, Victor Cruz.
Victor Cruz was here.
Oh, right.
But I mean, both the Bosa brothers tore their ACLs up there.
Yep.
It seems like week after week after week that field delivers a season-ending injury to an opponent, and I'm more scared of their field than I am of them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And get all over that 6.5. Before we hit the power rankings, though, got a question about the other New York team and your boy.
Who, Mike White?
What do you what you think? Like, what's opinion?
I mean, listen, it seems to be they definitely prefer Mike White over Zach Wilson, and this could be more of a Carson Wentz situation where they just like Mike White more. Apparently, over the week, the guys were wearing Mike White T-shirts around the complex and stuff.
Oh, did you see them getting off the bus?
No,
they got off the team bus, and the whole starting offensive line had Mike White jerseys.
Right. So you see things like that, and it makes you wonder: did something happen behind the scenes that Zach Wilson pissed somebody off?
Yeah,
that's what it feels like. And it feels like he's been voted off the island because of that. And also, too, like, listen, the Jets are they're trying to build themselves very similarly in the mold of the 49ers. They're a really, really good defense. They want to run the ball. They don't want their quarterback to do anything stupid. And Zach Wilson's been doing a lot of stupid things with the football. Turning the ball over, not making good reads when he can throw the ball. And, that along with all the offseason stuff with the, and then you got the pretty boy Zach persona. You got to, like, if you're going to have those persona and embrace the outside life of being a superstar, you got to be a superstar on the field. And right now, he's not doing that. Do I still think he's really talented and can be a really good football player and a really good quarterback in the NFL? Yes, absolutely. But there's some disconnect. And I think maybe the best thing for him to do, number one, is he needs to be a good soldier in this Mike White situation. He's got to embrace it. It's hard.
You are the number 2 overall pick. You will get a chance to start again. Don't
be Carson Wentz. Learn from his mistakes.
Is it going to be this year?
Yeah.
Is it going to be?
It's going to be
training camp.
Yeah, it might not be in New York. It may be somewhere else.
But you will start again.
Right. So the best thing to do for him is to
throw the ball like that.
Be a good soldier. Your team. Right. Be a good soldier with the Mike White situation. And if you got some apologies to make, you need to make those apologies. Figure out with yourself, what did I do to get myself here off the field? Why are these guys no longer rooting for me?
Did you hear what Michael Irvin said?
No.
He was like, "Hey, Zach, call me. Give me 10 minutes of your time. I'll tell you how to win the locker room back." And I was like, I don't think he wants that kind of advice.
Yeah. Let's go and get 10 pounds yayo from the Gulf of Mexico or something.
Let me I'm going to throw a question out. You don't have to answer it. I just want you to ponder. I saw somebody said it on Twitter, and usually 90% of the stuff I read on there is stupid, but every once in a while somebody says something, I'm like, I have to dive deeper into this.
Okay.
Kyle Pitts, tight end Falcons, transcendent talent.
Yeah.
bust? Question mark. You don't have to necessarily answer that now, but if you dive into his numbers through the first 2 seasons, they're not good.
I know he got off to a good start last year, and then things kind of tailed off. And he's been hurt a little bit this year, right?
He just got hurt for the season. He played
Okay.
but
I mean, Marcus Mariota's throwing you the ball.
But last year you had Matt Ryan.
Yeah, but he wasn't great either. And they don't have any wide receivers. And everyone kind of knows, okay, we got to make sure Kyle Pitts gets the football.
I'm not saying he is. I'm just
I'm not ready to go there yet, because like that team's offense is dysfunctional.
And what if they flounder next? What if he flounders next year?
I don't know. I mean,
you can't
him.
Or he just has to get up out of there.
Right. There needs to be other, but they need other parts. They need a better quarterback. They need some sort of wide receivers.
Archbishop Wood's own Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you guys play Archbishop Wood?
Yes.
Or were they in like a different conference?
No, we played Wood.
Were they? So they were stacked.
They weren't good yet. When West was dominant, they didn't become a powerhouse until like, I don't know, I'm gonna say the late 2000s, something like that.
Well, when we played them in like the mid 2000s, they were good, but they weren't like they are now.
Right.
So I didn't know if they were stacked.
I mean, there's rumors that they're like actually like recruiting now.
Yeah.
There's a private school, so they have a little bit of leeway with that. But they're going down like the city and grabbing like the best kids down like the city.
I mean, they took Kyle Pitts from Abington High School to Archbishop Wood.
Right. Because it's a private school, so they have that. And I think it's weird. I think they feel like they just discovered they can do that.
Well,
they can kind of treat themselves like a college program because it's a private school.
I just figured that might be kind of a rivalry, West and Wood, just because of geographic.
Right. Not at the time, because Archbishop Wood wasn't really.
They weren't that good.
Good.
Is West good now?
No. West has not been anything special in like 20 years. Like that. Like really, it ended with there was some residual effects after the Pettin era, but we had a couple years where they were pretty good. But like that, 1990 to 2002 run, and even before that, before they were running even before that. But like, we'll probably never see that again. One of the big things is the splitting of the schools. So West used to get the best of, Lenape, UNAMI, Tamanin. I think I'm missing one school, but it doesn't matter. So now, because of South, there's South now. South gets some of that stuff, those kids too. So
when you went there, it was just East and West.
Yep. When I went there, it was just East and West. South wasn't even being built yet when I was there. And then, so because West was the reason why South had to happen, West was so overcrowded that we had to do our 9th grade year down at Lenape, down at the junior high, because they didn't have enough room.
Well, like West is big, but it's in an awkward. I feel like it's in an awkward location.
Yeah, it's right in the middle, right smack in the middle of D-town.
Yeah, like it has no place to. It's
like it's in the middle of a neighborhood street.
Yeah, like it has no place to grow.
Like it's like you have houses on the other side, and you have this big high school, which is weird because usually by the time you get to high school have campuses.
Yes.
Where West is one of the few that does not have a traditional campus. It's just in the smack dab in the middle of the uniform.
So you guys don't have your own football field?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, you do?
It's behind, War Memorial Field. Actually, you want to hear something funny? East didn't have their own field for a while. East play their home games at War Memorial Field, West, which is weird because East was the rich kid school. So it made no sense why they didn't have their own field. But I think they've had one built. But they used to play their games at West. But yeah, it was
that's listen, Ted Sillery would be proud of that segment.
Yeah, a little high school football for you. Well, let's get into the power rankings.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so as I pull it up, you guys know the rules.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go through last week, and then I'll get into this week. So last week, We had 10 the Ravens, 9 the Titans, 8 Bengals, 7 Bills, 6 Vikings, 5 Dolphins, 4 Cowboys, 3 49ers, 2 Chiefs, and 1 Eagles. All right. This week at number 10, Tennessee Titans. Tough week for the Titans, but again, as I said in my opening, Titans are a good football team. And we're not going to take that away because they got destroyed to the Eagles. A lot of teams got destroyed by the Eagles. Also, they're going to be in the playoffs. They're still leading the South. Not a great division anyway, so they're not really threatened for the most part. But in the playoffs, they can make some noise because of the way they play football, as we talked about many times. At number 9, and really on life support, is the Baltimore Ravens. Have you heard anything about Lamar's injury? I know it's not ending.
I heard that it was week to week.
Okay. Listen, Lamar Jackson injury is bad, obviously. However, I don't want to sit here and act like this team was not in trouble before he even got hurt. That offense, as we talked about last week, is just not good right now. They're not scoring points. They're having trouble moving the ball. It's a mess. I am still in the camp of Greg Roman must go. I think he has worn out his welcome, as he usually does in places where his offenses, they have a peak and teams figure out what he's doing, and then if his offense looks really, really, really good for about a year or two, where it's like, how do you stop this? And then all of a sudden they figure it out, and he never readjusts. And that's where they're at right now. So I think it's time for him to go and time for him to go figure out something else. At number 8, the Dolphins. Extremely disappointing performance out in San Francisco. I'm disappointed for a multitude of reasons. Obviously, my bank account's disappointed. But besides that, just watching that game strictly from just a football perspective, Garoppolo goes out in the first quarter. You get off to a really early 7-0 lead, and you score 10 points for the rest of the game. That offense is just too good to be held down that way, and that's what people are worried. That's what people are saying. Like, I've tried to defend the Dolphins for a couple weeks now, but that's what people were saying about them, about going forward in the playoffs, is that's kind of what they think is going to happen when they face better competition. Number 7, the Minnesota Vikings. Now, you will notice the Vikings.
Wait, what was? Wait, you had the Titans,
Ravens, Dolphins.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you already also said the 49ers. Never mind.
No, right. At number 7, the Minnesota Vikings. Now, you will notice the Vikings have dropped down a spot as of last week. They've done nothing wrong. I still think they're a good football team. However, we got a lot of good football teams now. Mm-hmm. And if we're going to be accurate about a week to week, I got to just look at what I'm seeing and look at who I think is better right now. And the Vikings right now are at 7. That defense, as I talked about last week, is just not good. I hate the whole bend don't break thing, because my philosophy of bend don't break is eventually you're going to break. There comes a point where you can take something and you can bend it to the point where it's no longer usable. And I feel like when you have a defense like that, you're playing with fire and you're asking for something really bad to happen. That's why the Vikings play defense. And that's why the Jets, who have had trouble moving the ball all year, was able to go up and down the field like water on them. And, eventually, and the game was way closer than it should have been. And the Vikings got the turnover at the end to seal the fate. However, you're asking for something bad to happen when you play better competition. And you're looking at the Vikings, they're going to have to play the Cowboys maybe. They might have to play the Eagles. Teams that can score some points. And you keep playing with fire against these teams. You give these teams the 30-30, they're going to take it to the end zone also. Number 6, Buffalo Bills. Listen, Buffalo did what they needed to do. They beat the Patriots, who are also offensively challenged. But the Patriots have a really good defense. Buffalo scored on them. Buffalo is a team that, it's a sexy team now. Everyone loves the Buffalo Bills. They're all Buffaloed up. But wait, listen, with that Chiefs loss, Buffalo now is the number 1 seed. So everything needs to come through Buffalo, which could be a problem if in the AFC Championship game. And that's the one thing they have not had yet in this run, was home field throughout. So the ball's in your court, Buffalo. Don't screw it up. Number 5, and a team that, we talked about this about 3 weeks ago, a team that I spy with my little eye that is getting more dangerous each week, and that's the Cincinnati Bengals. This is looking very, very similar to last year. The Bengals last year started off a little slow. They kind of faded underneath the radar, and all of a sudden got white hot in November, December. What's more remarkable is that for a while they did this without Mixon, and they did it without Jamar Chase. Well, Jamar Chase is back, and he's healthy, as he jumped over my man on Sunday. And also, what they've discovered is you don't just have one number 1 wide receiver. You have 2. Because T. Higgins is number 1. Oh, and by the way, you have Tyler Boyd, too. So you have 2 number 1s and a number 2. And your Mixon's still in concussion protocol. I expect him to be back this week.
Yeah, I expect him to be back this week, too.
So you have that also. And, oh, by the way, you have one of the top 3 to 4 quarterbacks in football. So this is a team that nobody wants to see, whether you're home, away. Nobody wants to see them in January. And it looks like you're going to have to deal with them and deal with them heavy. Number 4, the Kansas City Chiefs. Why are the Chiefs still ahead of the Bengals, you say? Because the Chiefs are really good at football. They lose that game. This is actually the first loss for Patrick Mahomes in November and December since 2003.
Have you heard the Burrow-Mahomes stat? They said over and over and over.
3 times in 2022?
Well, no. Burrow's the only quarterback that faced Mahomes multiple times and is undefeated.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So, it was a big feat. It took everything to beat them. They got off to a nice 14-3 lead. Looked like the Bengals were on a cruise, and the Chiefs did what Chiefs do. They came back. A fluky Travis Kelce turnover, which you're not going to really see very often.
Can't wait for the episode this week.
Say it again?
Can't wait to see what he says on the episode this week about it.
Yeah, he's gonna be big sad.
Well, that show is you listen to it?
Yeah, it's so good.
It's much.
I haven't listened to the whole thing, but I've listened to the clips. It's gold. Yeah. It's gold. They're awesome together. Yes, it was fluky. It was almost as fluky as the Eagles having 17 false starts in the first 5 minutes of the game. It's just weird stuff.
Yeah. So my theory on all those false starts is that when you have that many different players in that short amount of time, that is clearly a game plan issue. Like whatever they're trying to do, they can't get on the same page. Yeah, especially those players aren't bad players to where they're making those mistakes. Like that's clearly a operational issue.
Especially guys that good. No, I agree with you. At number 3, the Dallas Cowboys, who beat the Indianapolis Colts. Obviously, the score got really lopsided in that fourth quarter. Listen, the Cowboys, it's the same. But here's the thing with the Cowboys. Even in their victories, you still see their flaws. Trayvon Diggs' situation to me will always be a problem because that guy, he can make a big play for you, but you can double move him to death. You can double move him to death. He got beat on Sunday with double move from a rookie.
Like Smitty, it will do things to him.
Yeah, if you can run really good routes, you can torch Trayvon Diggs.
The thing is, I think AJ Brown's a great route runner.
Yes,
but he's not like Smitty is.
Yeah, he's elite.
Like he's a top. Like Smitty's already a top 5 route runner today.
Yeah, I agree. Number 2, the San Francisco 49ers. It's listen, I really agree.
Wow.
I really think that the top 3 teams in the league are in the NFC. I really believe that. Right now.
Wow.
It's a right now thing right now. I really believe that the top 3 teams are in the NFC. So here's the thing with 49ers. It's amazing that their skill set is so high on all their positions, defense, offense, all of that you can lose your starting quarterback and it may not even be a big deal because of the way they play football. They're that talented everywhere else. The Chris McCaffrey signing was just such a genius move by them to pick him up and to get him out of another third world country of football in Carolina.
Yeah. Oh.
So here's the deal. They're all, but you got to keep an eye on it. It'll be interesting to see week to week how they perform with the quarterback issue. We'll see. We'll see if they do go the Baker Mayfield route. Who knows? But in January, now here's the thing. I was extremely confident in them to be really good in January based on all these characteristics. Now you're putting a rookie, a guy who wasn't drafted high, in hostile environments. That might be a problem. But right now, hey, listen, they're really, really good, and they beat a good football team on Sunday. Probably, if you look at all the matchups, if you're the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Niners had the toughest matchup of the week. Of the NFC. I guess the Chiefs Bengals game obviously was probably the biggest game of the weekend, besides Dolphins Niners. It was a toss up. So that's my logic. And number one, come on, right in South Philly, 215.
I mean, if you don't have them on as number one on your chart right now, I can't help you.
You're right.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you can't have them at number one,
I want to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like.
We're gonna discuss.
Like, all I would say is pass me some of whatever it is because I need it.
And listen, when they were 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, they weren't number one on my list. They were hovering in the top 5.
But like, they're undisputed now.
But since maybe mid to late October, they've been the best team in football.
Now, going through and previewing all these, I had to eliminate 2 because they had the Buccaneers, and that's our rule,
Yeah. No Bucks.
So, Sports Illustrated, and I believe it was The Ringer.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, they both had Bucks on it. So, I kicked them out.
Okay.
So, we'll start with the NFL Network. Number 10, the New York Jets. Number 9, Titans. 8, Dolphins. 7, Niners. 6, Vikings. 5, Chiefs. 4, Bills. 3, Bengals. 2, Cowboys. 1, Eagles.
Wow. Chiefs fall to 5. That's a little low for me. And the Jets, they're a nice story. They're obviously in playoff contention. I'm not sure if they dropped out of the wild card with that loss. I know they had a wild card going into that game. They're a nice story, but come on, man. Can you look at the teams I've named? Who are you taking off the list? Like, I'll pull it back up real quick. Who comes off of this list to put the Jets on?
Jets are currently in the 7th seed.
Okay. Titans. I mean, maybe Ravens. Maybe we have that argument. Maybe the Ravens could come off the list. But other than that, Titans, Dolphins, Vikings, Bills, Bengals, Chiefs, Cowboys, 49ers, Eagles.
Yeah.
Maybe the Ravens. I would listen to that argument. I still think the Ravens are a better team right now. But maybe.
So we'll go to the Athletic.
Okay.
Ravens, Jets, Dolphins.
A lot of Jets love.
Niners, Vikings,
Ooh.
Cowboys, Bengals, Bills, Chiefs, Eagles.
Okay. Were the Vikings, what number were they?
They were, I want to say 6. Yeah, 6.
Okay, it's 6, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just look at, again, why I dropped them down a spot because I just think the 6 teams I named are better. So, it's a week-by-week basis, and, that defense is just so bad. It's a really bad defense they got going on over there.
Not good.
It's not good. Nothing good. It's not ideal. It's not what you want.
Let's flip over to Yahoo Sports, and we got 10 Jets. Seems to be a
popular opinion.
Our opinion. Number 9, Ravens. 8 Dolphins, 7 Niners, 6 Vikings, 5 Bengals, 4 Bills, 3 Chiefs, 2 Cowboys, 1 Eagles.
I'm okay with that. It's a good list.
And
I haven't heard. Wait, did they have the Ravens and the Jets on that list?
yes,
So who do they not have on? Was it no Niners?
Titans.
No Titans. Okay. All right.
It seems to be that people are fighting between picking 2 of 3: Titans, Ravens, Jets.
I would agree.
Because almost all of them have whatever team's not in there listed at 11.
If the Titans met the Jets on a neutral field in the playoffs, who wins that game?
The Titans would kill them.
That's what I think. I think the Titans win that game.
The Titans, it wouldn't even be close, I don't think. I think
the Ravens met the Jets on a neutral field. Lamar's healthy.
The Ravens are going to run all over them.
Exactly. That's why the Jets can't be. Listen, we're late in the season now. Like I said, I think 2 weeks ago I said it. The teams on here now, it's maybe moving around a little bit, but you're going to see the same team on here for here and out, probably.
Yeah.
Not a lot of things, not all ways you can go with that.
And the last one we got is our friends over at Bleacher Report.
Okay.
10 Tennessee, 9 Ravens, 8 Niners,
Ooh.
7 Dolphins, 6 Chiefs, 5 Bengals, 4 Vikings, 3 Cowboys, 2 Bills. You already know who's number 1.
49ers getting zero respect.
In fairness, everybody's saying it's because of the Garoppolo injury. That's everybody's reasoning is the Garoppolo injury. Everybody's reasoning is if Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't get hurt, they're probably a top 4 team. That's basically what the consensus was. But because of Jimmy Garoppolo being hurt, we can't do that. Is essentially what every single person's reasoning was.
Okay. I don't think it's as big a deal as everyone else is making it out to be. Just they play football.
Well, it falls on Kyle Shanahan to get the team ready.
Right.
Like you can game plan around him. He's okay enough that you can game plan around winning with him. But Jimmy Garoppolo, the difference is that he knew the game plan.
Right.
Like this guy doesn't know the game plan.
Right.
So just a couple of finishing touches on this episode. So we have 3 things that happened today, Marcus.
Wait, real quick before we get into that, we got to talk Trea Turner for a second.
Oh yeah, just a couple of dollars, $300 million for I don't know, what was it? Just a little period of time of 11 years.
11 years. I will be 53 years old when Trea Turner contract is up. That's a wild thought.
I will be 44.
It's a wild thought. Yeah, I mean, really, we all talked about it. The piece that they desperately needed. We knew Segura was going to be out.
Yo, real quick. Zave's going to be in high school when he's done. Like the end of high school.
Janessa will be 23.
Ooh, we signed him.
And the baby will know who Trea Turner is as a Philly.
Yeah.
Davey will be 8.
Wow.
No, she'll be about 11.
Yeah, she should. It's an 11-year deal.
She'll
11.
She'll know Trea Turner as a Philly.
I didn't want to say anything, but for a minute I was like, he knows.
Like, yeah, I was gonna be 8.
He was like, she's going to be 8, and I was like, it's 11-year contract.
Yeah, wild. And Dave will be 18.
$27 million a year. Not crazy money. I mean, no. That's a lot of money, but
a lot of years
compared.
I'm okay with it.
It reminds me a lot of the Bryce Harper contract. A lot of money, but spread it out over a longer period of time.
Yeah, and he's a guy that's really going to, like, people who don't know Trea Turner, he's a perfect fit. He's a guy that he hits for average, he hits for power. He's a great fielder. He's a great arm.
Do you have him lead off?
He can bat in the middle order. He can do so many different things for you.
Is he your 1 or your 2?
Well, to start the season, I probably have him in the middle of the lineup.
Oh, yeah. So yeah.
By the way, let's talk about that real quick because we haven't unpacked that. Are you upset at all that Bryce waited 18 days to get surgery?
No.
Thank you. I can't believe the ingrates out here criticizing Bryce Harper for taking a
Now, if he would have waited 2 months, that's a different story.
Yeah, like 18 days? Are we really talking about? Like, the guy took a vacation with his family. You don't think he's earned that after all the joy he brought you this October? Let him have a little joy.
Plus, we don't know. I'm by no means my doctor. Right. I'm pretty sure you're not a doctor.
No.
I don't know. Did all those swinging of the bats to see if swelling in the elbow had to wait for the swelling to go down?
It could be. But
Could
even if
he
it's not,
could
even
he
if
have
it says,
could he have just said, "Listen, I'm tired.
yeah,
I don't feel like rehabbing it right now.
right. Even
Give
if
me
he
a
said,
week or
listen,
so."
I want to mentally decompress. I need
Like I
about 2
said,
weeks.
if it was like 2 months, different story.
1,000%. But 18 days, you can't. The guy gave us an MVP season, an MVP playoffs, and we can't give him 18 days. Like, come on. Like, this is the type of stuff, and I love Philadelphia, I really do. But this is the type of stuff that happens that turn people off to us. This is an insane conversation to have. If you guys are upset, or anyone will be upset, they took 18 days to get started. Who
I
cares?
do not care.
Who cares? Who cares? He deserved to have a vacation with his family, spend time with the wife, hold his son for a little bit because he won't be able to do that for a couple months. Like he deserved. I think he has 2 kids, son and daughter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he deserved the right to hold his kids. Like he deserves all of that. Stop it. Stop. But this is not a real problem. It's not.
Like, he's going to miss 6 months.
Right.
Is those 18 days going to change anything?
No. He gives me back around, or it looks like around the All-Star break.
My guess would be 4th of July.
Yeah, somewhere in there, and then you get him in the field.
Yeah, you get Bryce Harper back. You get
middle of August. They're saying he could play the field.
yes.
So yeah, I just wanted to unpack that real quick. That drove me.
I do. Like I said, if it was 2 months, different story. I'm glad that no one listened to the dumb stuff I was saying back in June. Do you remember that?
Now the surgery. Yeah.
What was I thinking?
Well, I mean, who could foresee what was going to happen here? I mean, I remember.
In fairness, those comments were when I made those comments. Girardi was still the manager.
Right. It was. I think it was really like just before he got fired.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, what was cool about this signing is that obviously you had the Trea Turner Bryce Harper connection of them being teammates. So obviously that played into it. But you can't tell me that ultimate commercial of having 2 months of playoff Citizens Bank Park didn't make Trea Turner go, yeah, I want to go there.
I mean, listen, San Diego offered him more money.
Yeah.
They offered him a bigger, more total dollars. He
Right.
wanted to come to the East Coast.
Yep.
Check. John Middleton, give him his credit. I've been critical of him.
Yeah.
You've been critical of him,
Yes.
but we need to give him his credit.
Yeah.
He saw what it does when you go over the luxury tax.
Mm-hmm.
The fans of this team, not me because I don't go to games,
Yeah.
but the fans of this team will reward you. They will come and they will buy tickets to this for this team. The ballpark will get filled up.
Mm-hmm.
You will make this money back.
And
I promise you this.
Right. And think about it too, is that you didn't get to see the effects.
I won't, but
you didn't get to see the effects till the playoffs because the fans were half full for the entire season. That won't be the case this year.
No,
it's going to be like it was.
As long as it's a decent weather day in the beginning of the season.
Yep.
During the summer,
yep,
you're not going to have a problem. You're going to have 35, 40 down there every night.
Yep.
As long as pre-Memorial Day.
Yeah.
As long as it's an acceptable temperature for those home games.
Yeah.
35, 40.
Yep. You listen, it's a good time when you're talking baseball December 6th.
Yeah.
Like the last time we've done that was like, the Cliff Lee, Roy Halladay signings and those type of situations. We haven't had a chance to do that.
We need some throwers now.
We need some arms. We need a starter. I think another starter. Hey, by the way, congratulations, Zach Eflin. Get your money, bro.
Yep.
Proud of you. Tampa, holding Tampa hostage. Love it for you.
And Justin Verlander.
Yeah, to the Mets. But here the thing is, do you trade? Because this is what this guy kind of did. You kind of just traded Verlander for DeGrom. Do you make that swap?
Yep.
Okay. I would rather have both of them, but okay.
Yeah, but make the assumption you can only have one. Give me.
I'm surprised of Verlander coming here, not here to New York.
I mean,
surprised me a little bit.
Marcus. If I told you I'm going to send you to a remote place in Alaska. Okay. You can take your whole family with you. You're not going to go alone. You take your whole family with you.
Okay.
And I will give you $42 million a year. You're going.
Where's my parka?
So it doesn't matter where he goes.
Yeah, it's true.
When someone opens their checkbook and says, I'm going to give you more per year than Zach Eflin's entire contract,
Yeah.
you go. Plus,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm looking at it also as Verlander going to New York is like LeBron going to LA. Kate Upton can, if she wants to get back into modeling, I'm sure, don't get me wrong, Houston's a major city,
right.
but it's not New York.
No.
If he wants, I don't know if he's involved in what kind of businesses he's involved in and all that, but Houston, the great city, it's not New York. I think this may be a move to set up their life 2.0 after he retires.
How many years they give him?
2.
Okay.
2 years, 83
I just
million.
looked at it, and listen, I could be wrong. The guy was phenomenal last year, but he was leaking oil in the playoffs in the World Series. And
Marcus,
you gotta wonder.
Marcus, he plays for the Mets. He ain't playing in no more World Series.
You just
more World Series.
gotta wonder. But even the regular season, his regular season was ridiculous for a 39-year-old. Now he said he did an interview during the World Series where he said he thinks he could do this for a couple, at least 4 or 5 more years. But everyone says that until they fall off the cliff. And now you also have Max Scherzer, who's no spring chicken either.
Well, they reunited the old Detroit Tigers.
Yeah. Yep.
Lineup or rotation.
Yeah, your rotation, top half of rotations is old.
Yeah, old as hell, that you might even say.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. But anyway, we had to address the Trea Turner.
Yep, had to. In fact, it took us an hour and 17 minutes to get to that. That's malpractice.
Yeah.
Malpractice.
Very excited for baseball. It's good to have it back. We'll see you in February.
See you in February. So 3 things happened today, Marcus.
Okay.
1884, the Washington Monument is finally finished.
Okay.
1992, Jerry Rice breaks the career touchdown record. And in 2008, Beyonce drops the album #1 on the charts. You know what it is? 2008.
What's the album before Beyonce? Self-titled album for Beyonce. I think it's this one.
No. I Am Sasha Fierce.
There you go. I Am Sasha Fierce with Single Ladies on there.
Debuting at #1, by the way.
Yeah, my favorite, I think Beyonce was a better album. The self-titled album, Beyonce, was incredible.
Yeah. We got 4 birthdays today.
Okay.
Giannis, the Greek freak.
Oh, man. Did you watch his press conference talking about his birthday?
No. I will after the show, though.
Man, listen. I owe Giannis all the apologies in the world. I was very critical on him for the first couple years of his career, and maybe the criticism was fair. Some of the things I was critical on, but man, #1, is he one of the greatest interviews in the history of sports, and just a great guy. He works his ass off, and I have no complaints about his game any longer. Let's put it that way. But it was oh my gosh, him talking about his birthday was hilarious. I implore if you haven't checked, everyone checked it out. Check it out. It was awesome.
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Football. When is the doc dropping? The Netflix the Netflix doc should be dropping soon on that. I saw the teaser for that 6 months ago.
Yo, you see the thing for that 90 show?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
You gonna watch it?
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
That 70 show is hilarious. So I gotta at least poke my head in and see what it's about.
You get so is Wilmer Valderrama, is he gonna be part of it at all?
So everybody's in the first episode except for the dude who's a bad person. I forget what his name is.
Yeah, Danny Masterson. He won't be a part of it. Yeah.
No, he's not in it. But everybody else is in it, I believe, for just the first episode to lay the groundwork.
Right.
Because it's supposed to be Eric's daughter is like the main character now.
Yeah. And it takes place at Red's house.
Yeah. She's staying with them for summer break. For living with them for summer during school.
Yeah.
And she meets the locals.
Yeah.
Now, funny thing though is obviously Mina Kunis and Ashton Kutcher are now married.
Yeah.
Their real life kid is their kid in the show.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Now, like I said, it's only one episode, but hey.
Yeah, because they had Kelso and
Mhm.
whatever her name was, get married on the show.
Jackie.
Jackie, there you go. They're married on the show too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we also got how do you pronounce? So is it Judd or Jude Apatow?
Judd.
Judd. Well, today's his birthday.
One of my favorite movies ever, Superbad.
Oh, legendary. Legendary.
I say it all the time. That first 45 minutes of that movie is the hardest I've ever laughed.
Superbad is
my life.
Superbad, Pineapple Express, and The Hangover are the 3 movies I can just watch on repeat. Doesn't matter how many times I've seen them.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree.
And then last birthday is A Boogie with a Hoodie.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And then we got we only got 2 questions for today, Marcus, but they're pretty solid ones.
Okay.
The first one, if you could only eat one meal every single meal for an entire year, what would you pick?
Oh, this is easy. Burgers.
Ooh.
Definitely burgers. Because the thing about burgers is you can do so many different things. You do different seasonings. You can go lettuce, tomato, onion. You can go no lettuce, tomato, onion. You can go cheese. You can stuff the burger with other stuff. You can dress it up so many different ways. We won't get tired of it. I could totally do it. I went on a run where I had a burger like every night for 3 months.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, so like this is something I could do easy. I think in the summertime, so I just wanted burgers all the time.
Now, see, that's why I knew that we were friends, because answers like that. However, I did just read yesterday a study that says if you eat, I think like, all I know is that you definitely eat enough burgers to fall into that category, as do I, where like you increase your chances of dementia. And like if cheeseburgers are going to cause me dementia, like it's okay. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to stop.
No. I'm going to same reason that you said for variety.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go tacos.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Just because I could shrimp, chicken, beef, steak.
Yeah.
Pork,
street tacos.
Tacos, whatever.
Soft tacos, hard tacos.
Yep, whatever. So same thing like you said.
Turn the taco into a burrito form.
All
put
of
some
it.
rice in there. It's all I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
Some, like you said, something I can do a lot of variety with,
Yep.
but not get tired of.
Yep, exactly.
And then the second one. Now, Marcus, it's going to be skewed a little bit because you played pro basketball. However,
yeah.
As a player, what is your biggest athletic accomplishment?
Probably the game I dropped 35 with a grade 5 sinus infection.
Oh, how old were you?
IV out of the hospital.
What year was that? Or what grade was that? How old were you when you did that?
1997.
Was that high school?
Yeah.
Junior, senior?
Junior
year of high school. 35. Who were you playing?
35. Abington.
Home, away?
Away.
Oh, it's the best to do it in their gym.
I was like, it was great. Like I didn't ride the team. No one was like going to be there. I walked in the gym, Willis Reed style.
Dropped 35 and then went back to the hospital.
Drank 13 Gatorades.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So it was my senior year. Did you play baseball?
I did, not in high school though.
So, like at the end of the year, if you had a bunch of rainouts, you just cram all the games in at the end of the year.
Right. Yeah.
So we had like 4 games in a single week one time.
Okay.
And the last game we were playing was a Friday. And we all hated playing Friday night games. Saying football, we don't want to play a Friday night baseball game in June.
Right.
I'm getting ready to graduate. I don't want to be here playing this game.
Right.
So we're playing a makeup game against Chestnut Hill.
Okay.
Supposed to be a stacked team. They just, for whatever reason, they weren't that particular year. They just weren't that great.
Okay.
We get there, and we were used to shelling teams. Like, we used to mercy rule teams all the time. Well, we start playing. Next thing we know, we're down like 7-0 in the at the end of the first inning.
Wow.
And we're like, we're playing a team that only got like 10, 11 guys dressed. Like, this is not okay.
Right.
We pull the pitcher that was starting. Obviously, like, you're done. I go in. I pitch 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th inning. Shut out, 8 strikeouts. We won the game by 2 runs in extra innings.
Look at you.
I could not really lift my arm much above my chest the next day.
You're throwing
Didn't
gas.
I mean, like it was, it was like the 4th game in like 6 days. So we were just like, well, hey, I remember I was like, hey, I just threw like 3 innings like 2 days ago. Doesn't matter. Here you go. Here you go. Throw 4 more. Like that's what you what you did. But yeah,
I do.
and I remember I went like 2 weeks later. I go to my friend's graduation party because we just graduated high school. It's the end of the season.
Yeah.
His dad's like, hey, you guys had a really great game. He's like, saw you struck out 8 guys there. I was like, yeah. He's like, how did your arm feel the next day? I'm like, couldn't really lift it. Couldn't really lift it.
Yeah, right here.
Could not really lift it. So yeah, gassing it in at an impressive 68 miles an hour.
There you go. I'll get the job done in high school.
Now it will. No. What's your prediction before we get out of here?
Eagles 28-17.
So you're saying they cover the 6.5?
Yes.
I agree.
I don't see the Giants scoring a lot of points. I think the Eagles will score a lot of points. That's what they do. 28 is their average, as we talked about earlier in the show.
You don't think there's any way that Saquon can take this over?
No, because that's the thing is the Eagles put so much pressure on you, and they're up 14-0 before you have a chance to blink.
My final thought is that they don't have the complementary pass game to make up for that. Like Saquon can go for 160 yards in this game, and the Eagles will still win.
Right.
Because Daniel Jones doesn't have the ability to complement his rushing attack.
Right. And the Commanders are a team that's really suited well to play the Giants because Commanders aren't running away from anybody either. Commanders aren't putting up a lot of points. So
you got a 15-teamer for me this week?
I hope so. I hope I have a 15-teamer for me.
All right, let me know. I need in on that.
Yeah. I do it every week. I do like a $5, like, let's see what happens. Like, why not? So you turn around and get lucky until Mike McDaniel says, F you, Marcus.
I mean, if you come in next week and you're wearing Gucci sunglasses, I know what the deal is.
Seriously.
I like it.
Seriously.
So we're going to be looking at a 12-1 team, you're saying?
I think so. Yeah, I think you're not going to have to worry too much about the Christmas Eve game.
So one final thing, Marcus, you remember me talking to you about the Pooh horror movie?
Yeah. Yes.
Have you seen the latest horror movie that shouldn't be a horror movie?
No, is it Smile?
No. It's, I kid you not, like, I don't know who's in charge of the trademark of this, or if there is even anybody in charge of it. Maybe that's why this is allowed. But it's called Violent Night. Okay?
Come on. Is Santa out here killing people? And the reindeer?
Serial killer, Santa.
Okay. I actually am okay with this. If they're not, here's why if they're going this direction, like, I hope there's no kids listening, but we know Santa is who Santa is. If you're going like there's a mall Santa and he goes on a killing spree dressing up as Santa, I'm okay with that premise. I actually like that a little bit.
All right, so here's the premise.
But if you're trying to tell me this is actually Saint Nick coming from the North Pole, taking out people, I'm out.
So here is the premise, okay? Oh wow. I can't believe where this supposedly takes place at.
Okay.
Bristol, Pennsylvania.
Oh, not Bristol. The only thing I know about there is Levittown, where I know Curly's.
Shout out Curly's.
Yeah, shout out to Curly's cheesesteaks.
So it's a team of elite mercenaries breaks into a family compound on Christmas Eve, taking everyone hostage inside. However, they aren't prepared for a surprise combatant. Santa Claus is on the grounds, and he's about to show everyone why Nick is no saint.
What? So Santa's the hero?
He's a serial killer hero that comes to the rescue to kill these mercenaries that takes a family hostage.
This is too confusing. I'm out. That got weird real fast.
Well, here's the wild part. You ready?
Okay.
It got a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, I'm not going to watch it.
I think I'm still out.
I'm still out. It's got
plotline.
it's got what's his name? Hopper from Stranger Things in it. He plays Santa Claus.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who that is. He's like he's like one of the main characters from Stranger Things.
Amber would know. I don't watch that show.
Yeah, he's like one of the main characters.
Okay.
But he plays Santa Claus, and it's wild, and it's out in theaters now. If you want to go see it, it hit the theaters for the Christmas season.
I don't.
I just can't imagine like having to explain to like what would you do? How would you explain to one of your kids, hey, Santa Claus is a serial killer?
You don't have that conversation. Don't talk about it.
I got nothing.
At Mark tweeting everywhere.
At Justin Emery Show on the Bluebird app.
Brad and Emery Pod everywhere. BradMershaw.com for the merch. Vans Jewelers. And until next time, you be with us, you be against us, we're never going to stop us. Late.